I wish there was a way for me to like edit this. Hello, hello. All right. So I know I said I'm going live, and now I know that this really is live and recording. But I'm just going to sit here and I'm going to wait and see what happens. But if you're here, say something. All right, let me do that. Is there a way to like change stuff? All right. So I'm going to sit here, which is going to look probably boring to anybody who's looking, but hello, hello. If you are here, welcome. The purpose of today is to just go through questions because there seems to be so many. Oh, you guys are just hopping right on. Hello. All right. So, am I planning on getting PCDF in the future? All right. So, possibly. So, I am getting my updated MRI next Thursday. So that being said, depending on what that shows, I'm going to then take my new MRI and I'm going to take it to like hopefully University of Penn or whoever I can get in with. My thing is though is recently I'm having a lot more like twitching in like my whole arm and my forearm and down to my hand. So I'm having a little bit more, I guess, like decompensation. um, I still have strength, which is cool, but I am getting like more like nerve issues. So, am I going to get it? Possibly. I just want to see if I can get other opinions because I really, after reading like all of your comments and everything, it's just like I don't want to have more issues. I don't want pain. And I don't want to work with a doctor who says that they're only like 60% confident that I'm going to be okay or that it's going to help. Hearing that doesn't really like feel good. Um, how do my current problems affect work? I move constantly in my chair. So I like this is how like my days are. It's just constantly like sitting and staring at a screen. So I'm standing up and I'm just it's just constantly like moving and stretching. Um, and sometimes I have headaches. So some days when I get to have a phone session, I might like lay in bed or like lean over. But because I'm just talking all day, I guess the way that it also affects is like as a therapist, I'm always like yesing. So that can get uncomfortable. So there might be some days where like I don't move my head as much. And I hope I don't give the impression that I'm not relating to my clients. But I appreciate everyone that's here. Thank you for being here. How long did it take to schedule my operation from the first appointment? That's hard because I waited 2 years to schedule the operation. But my operation was done from an orthopedic surgeon at Rothman, and his name was Victor Shu. And I got in pretty quickly with him, and surgery was pretty quick. It was just up to me, like when I wanted it. Um, so like I guess that was good. I guess I don't know if it was because of the severity of it that I was able to get in quicker, but it was like maybe like 2 months, I guess. And then Brad, the surgeon at Jefferson is Dr. Yoon, Yoon. He's the neurosurgeon that I may use, even though he says he's only 60% confident that I'm gonna be okay, I guess. So hopefully the new MRI shows no change. That would be kind of cool, but it would also be frustrating because I'm having more issues. But he seems to think that because of the instability from C4 to C5 that he wants to redo, he thinks that that's the thing that's causing more of the nerve issues. So he wants to do C3 to C4 and then reinforce 4 and 5 with like I guess a cage and stuff. Does pain management not have any other options? When you say does pain management not have any other options, do you mean in terms of like pain management? I don't know where you're from, but like pain management is generally like medication or like injections and things like that. And in terms of like other options, I mean, I guess like physical therapy, things like that. What was the best way to sleep before and after surgery? Oh my god. So, I don't know if you've, like, watched any of my other videos, but it got to the point where, like, I was, like, laying and I still kinda do depending on, like, the pain, but, like, I'll lay on, like, the mattress on my back with, like, no pillow, like, sometimes even just, like, the slightest incline causes like a lot of pain. Even to this day, like laying on my back or my sides, like I'll have numbness in my legs, I'll have numbness down my arms, which is really frustrating. Mostly I'm like laying on my side or my back. I would love to be able to lay on my belly because I think that that just like would give like a good stretch, but I can't do that. I couldn't tell you the last time I laid on my belly or like slept on my belly. Um, did I have much pain before the surgery? I went through periods, Night Rider. I went through periods of, like, initially what took me to the ER was significant pain to the point where I couldn't support my head on my shoulders. I was just, like, crying because I just felt like it was almost like somebody, like, chopped my neck in half, and I couldn't, like, keep it up, but then eventually, like, steroids and being in the ER, I was, like, hospitalized for, like, a week, and then lots of pain management. So eventually, like, the inflammation decreased and it got better, and then I was able to put off the surgery for a little bit longer. And then I was doing okay until, like, the numbness and, slowness started, and that's where I was like, "You know what? Let me get this surgery done," and that's kinda, like, why now I'm in this place of possibly wanting to get the surgery done because the numbness and the coldness is getting a bit worse, and the twitching, the nonstop, like, twitching in, like, my armpit, and then just, like, down, like, my whole hand and, like, my I'm like okay, so something I wanted to talk about tonight was, like, obviously TikTok, like, I don't know, like, it just the algorithm, and everybody has, like, ADHD. Everyone now has, like, EDS, which is, like, I don't know how to pronounce it, like, Elder-Danlos syndrome, and something that I wanted to research was I am pretty hypermobile, and something about if I do have this and then I had this spine surgery, it's likely that the issues I'm having is probably from the connective tissue stuff because that's what the EDS is. Um, and if that's the case and they did surgery and didn't really know this, like I possibly might have like had more damage done. But I don't know what an alternative would have been. But I that is something that I think I want to like ask at like a next appointment is if there are signs of I don't know how to say it, like Elder-Danlos syndrome, how that might affect what happens next. So that is something that I wanted to ask. And of course, like TikTok is like everybody has it, but it's something that I'm like paying a little bit more attention to. Um, what was the best way to sleep before and after surgery? On my back. Did I have much pain before the surgery? That's what I was referring to. Pain management options in general. Do they do injections already and all that? Yeah. So I've had injections in the spine, but the most recent time that I had it done, it was so painful that they couldn't complete it, and the relief was just so minimal that it just we decided not to do that. I know that people have talked about, like, stem cell, treatment, people have talked about, all these other things, but I have found that just, like, pills, I guess, and massage and what have you works, I guess, just keeping inflammation down. Um, made it made it I had C3 through 7 4 years ago. My neck always hurt and my traps yes, my traps. Now you have nerve pain on the outside. Yeah, so the outside of the hand is your ulnar nerve, and that is the nerve that travels here, and then it's, like, in here, and then it kinda, like, wraps around into, like, your tricep and, like, down into your armpit, but yet it somehow is also connected to your neck. But it's just yeah, it's so annoying. Um but yeah, so the nerve pain and the traps, and I don't know why, but now I'm always doing this. I don't know what I'm guarding because I'm not in I don't wanna say it, but, like, I'm not in, like, pain, but the nerve stuff definitely is annoying. Posterior fusions are definitely a bit more brutal, longer surgery, and they would fuse C for you, Brad, they're gonna fuse C2 to T1? That's a lot. I know that posterior fusions are more difficult because they are cutting through all of the muscles, um, and the problem with that, though, is the possibility of I think that's called, like, a drop neck or swan neck or something. I'm sorry, I've had, like, back-to-back Zooms all day, so, like, I am, like, tired. But yeah, so I have heard that it is more difficult. Although the surgeon that might possibly work on me said that he would do minimally invasive posterior um, fusion. So I don't know how he's thinking. That would be different than what I'm thinking because according to him, he would just make a couple like incisions and like go in and like put in, I guess, like a cage or a fusion from like C3 to 4 and then reinforce whatever that means, 4 and 5, since he thinks that the screw is loose. So I don't know how that would be different versus the normal way of doing it, but we'll see. You just had a lumbar fusion in March and you still have nerve pain on the outside of your foot. Yeah. Isn't that weird? Like, I'm sure that I have like I mean, I know I have like stenosis in my lumbar as well. But according to this doctor, he's saying that he believes that my feet and leg numbness is coming from up here because of the pathway of like the nerve going up and down, like the transmission is getting lost or something. Do you find gravity being vertical made it worse before surgery? Yes. Actually, like, when I was, like, in the worst pain, especially after the chiropractor, don't ever go to a proctor. Don't ever let a chiropractor do your neck is, like, the biggest thing. But when it was, like, the worst of the worst, yeah, like, I could not lay, I couldn't sit, I couldn't do anything. I was just like, "Please just put me out of my misery." Like, it was horrible. Um, but even to this day, I find, like, I have to, like, lean over and, like, decompress, which I was told you're not really supposed to do. It's not really that good for you to do. But yeah, I kind of like it, but I know that if I do it too much, sometimes I'm in like more pain. I have to like remember to go like slow when I come back up. Don't waste your money on the stem cell PRP. I did that and it was a colossal waste of money. Really? Oh, that's sad. How close am I to New York? I guess it depends. I just moved, so I don't really know. But I used to live in Philly, so however far that is from New York. But now I'm in Montgomery County, so I guess, like, a little bit further away. Why? What's in New York? Man, I thought I was gonna have a lot more people joining. I was hoping to, like, answer questions because you guys all do a great job at, like, posting stuff, and I try messaging you, and then I have a bunch of people that will, like, email me. Um, Will Cornell is considered the top cervical spine. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, all these top doctors, like, whether it be through, Penn or right? Whether it's through Penn or if it's from, what was John Hopkins, like, it seems like all these people, like, so many people are like, "You gotta go to Florida, you gotta go here, you gotta go there." And I think the hard thing is this, like, traveling by yourself and having to stay there, and who's gonna take care of, like, my cat, and, then going back for, like, follow-ups and everything, like, if you have had the surgery already, um, and you have traveled and continue to travel, talk to me. If you've never had the surgery done yet and you continue to advocate going and traveling to somebody, let me know how that would work. Um, so I'm hoping it's coming from an informed comment. And I'm not saying you, it's just like a lot of people I have found, like people like send me emails and some of their messages have been a bit firm about things that I'm doing wrong and what I didn't do. And I'm just like, I'm not looking to get like chastised by making this channel. Like I love feedback and I like getting suggestions and learn new things. But the idea of you messed up because you didn't go to the best person, you messed up because you move your neck too much. It's like, I know all this. Um, I'm not looking to get chastised. I'm just looking to get support and also just, I don't know, be out here for like other people as a community to like connect. What would I do differently now versus then? Like I said in some of my videos, I would probably um, have enlisted a lot more help for longer. I probably would have had a better diet, but I've never had a good diet. Um, exactly. Definitely don't go private practice. What do you mean by that? I don't know what that means. Like, don't go to like a single person? I don't have nerve pain on both sides of my feet, but sometimes I do get, I mean, it's always, most of my stuff's my left side, but, I sometimes will get, like, some numbness in, like, my right big toe. I do get sometimes numbness on my right side. I get numbness on both feet, when I'm sleeping. So if I'm sleeping on my left side, my right side goes numb and vice versa. And then when I'm on my back, sometimes it's, like, both. Um some days I'll wake up and I'm, like, in a panic because 'cause I'm like, "I can't feel anything." I think I made a video, like, one, like, day, like, last month, like, when I first moved in here. I woke up and my entire, like, knee down was, like, dead. I fell over out of the bed, and I was, like, scared, but because it's happened before, it's been 4 years, and I'm used to, like, going numb. But initially, when I would have that happen, like, I would freak out thinking, like, I'm now paralyzed and I'm gonna, like, die. And I think that's the scariest thing when it comes to spine issues and pain, um, and just people not really getting it is just like this concept of like I wanna die on my own terms, but, if I'm trying to live and my body shuts down, it's like, "Fuck." And then you think about all these, like, one-off stories of, like, these paraplegics and everybody else who do some amazing things, but that's a resiliency that I just don't want to have to know. Um, private surgeons are incentivized to how many surgeries yeah, public. Yeah. You've had back pain all your life, but when your neck pain started, it's a I know. 3, 4, and 5. Oof. So, okay, so Tracy, somebody earlier was I think it was Sean, he was saying about the neuropathy in both the legs and the feet. It's like, what the fuck? And the permanent aspect, like anytime that we talk about nerve stuff, it sucks because it can be long lasting. And it's that fucking game of like, when do I go in and get like some treatment? And it's like, it's not easy because it's just like to do the treatment. Sometimes the treatment makes you worse than before you even went in. So, it sucks. And yeah, I agree, like, the neck pain has been, like, horrible because, like, I never had, like, headaches growing up, and now it's like I have, like, the pulsatile tinnitus, so it's always like, "Foom, foom," it's just all the fucking time. Um, and, like, the cervical gyn I forget the term, I can't think, I'm so tired. But yeah, like, the pain in the back of the neck that goes up and just, like, here, and then it goes down. It's just like I don't know, you guys can all probably relate, like, if you have stuff like this going on, you could probably relate that it's just like, it's always something, and there's always something new or a continuation that if, like, you were to list everything, it's like this and this. It's almost easier to list what doesn't hurt than what is hurting, and it's hard to kind of have a positive attitude. Somebody did make a comment on one of my videos, like, "How do you stay so positive? How do you socialize?" And it's just like, dude, like, it's hard. It's hard to be functional, but sometimes you don't have a choice. But I think the work that I do definitely helps because I don't like being a hypocrite. So I don't want to not practice some of the stuff that I preach. Sometimes it's hard though, but the language and following through and trying to be disciplined. Um, but yeah, you had to use a walker for 5 months before surgery? Really? What is Keaton? Wait, what's Keaton? I've never heard of that one before. Is it a medication? So yeah, I still don't know what that is. What's cretin? I don't know what that is. I know that you all, like, have asked, like, what has helped me. I don't know if I should just, like, take my computer and, like, show you all stuff, but, actually, I don't know where I put it because I just moved, so I don't know where I put stuff, but honestly, like, the things that have been helping my pain, I just wish I could, like, put it up here. I found these like heating pads. I think I did post them on here, but like these like heating pads that like last literally for 12 hours. I just wish they stuck better. But like the heating pads really helped. The Beastie Ball really helped. I think I did list everything, but if you need like specific links or whatever, let me know. I don't get like, I'm not sponsored by anything. Um, it's a dried leaf. I guess you got to be careful when it comes to, I mean, with anything, but even like with supplements, just in case like there's other things that go on. And I also know when it comes to like spine stuff, I don't know if I hear someone screaming outside. That's the other weird thing about like living here. It's like pitch dark outside. So like when things are making noise, I don't know what to do about it. But yeah, so when it comes to like cervical or even just like things related to the spine, you got to be careful of supplements that you take, especially if it has any blood thinning components, especially like if you are like quick to bruise. So you got to be careful with that. And same thing with like even pharmaceuticals. I'm not trying to like poo poo like supplements and natural remedies, but you do need to do a little bit of research. B12 was 650 below normal. I've been hearing more about vitamin D and vitamin B that should definitely be monitored before surgery. Something about if your vitamin B and D are low, you're supposed to get that up to above normal before surgery. Otherwise, there's higher likelihood of like complication afterwards. These are all the things, like these are all the stupid comments, not comments, not stupid, but like these are all the things that I like TikTok for because I'm learning so many things. But like when I first started this journey, like there wasn't a whole lot out there, at least that I could find. But like little things where it's like ask your doctor to test your B and your D vitamin, make sure that you're doing this or that. Like I just wish like I had that information. Like I just didn't have it. The doctors were like quick to just be like, yeah, like do your physical therapy, like, like eat a healthy diet, don't smoke. Like they would say that stuff, but it's just like I wish, somebody was just like do these specific like exercises because of this reason, not just eat a healthy diet. It's like tell me specifically, like talk to me like I'm 5. What are some of the physical activities that's off limit that make your symptoms worse? Ugh. Um, okay, so yes, everyone is depleted in vitamin D mostly. Um, yes, I agree with that, Brad. So the things for me in terms of physical activity that's off limits, like I would love to test that. I would love to test like, can I go horseback riding again and see what happens? Can I test skydiving and see what happens? But if you've ever like had like the bad kind of pain, like you don't want to test it. So I end up like avoiding everything. So I know for me, some sexual activity is off limits. Like anything that might create inflammation in the throat. I know even like with Pilates, when there would be certain like movements where like you're like on your back and you lift your legs up and like you're basically like, like I don't know, like curving your cervical spine. Like I can't do that. Um, so anything that creates like inflammation or tightness in the throat is like off limits. I've noticed that being a woman that's like large chested, like I know when I wear like bras or sports bras for too long, I guess from it like being too tight there ends up causing a lot of like hand pain. What else? Weather, like damp, cold. So now we're getting into the season where like my pain is going to start activating a little bit more. So I'm going to try to do like proactive measures of like getting out the heating pads, stretching a little bit more, maybe taking a bath. I'm not a big bath person, but trying to figure out how to like keep my bones warm. But yeah, like the things that are frustrating, it's like the things that you're supposed to do to help your pain and what have you, sometimes, especially initially, cause inflammation and makes it difficult to keep doing it. Um, I'm trying to beat around the bush a little bit with that answer with other things, but yeah, I mean, like a lot of like, oh my God, the other thing that is like physical activity that's off limits, not that it's off limits, but like dancing, like I love dancing. So like swinging my hair around, like stupid shit like that, or really getting into it when Like, if I'm, like, out and I don't really drink much, but, like, if I'm out and I'm drinking and I'm, like, doing my type of dancing, I'm paying for it, like, the next couple days. Sometimes I forget that, like, I had spine surgery if I'm feeling good, and I'll, like, get out of the shower and, like, shake my hair to kinda, like, dry it, and I'm like, "Oh, fuck, I shouldn't be doing that." But yeah, I mean, that's kinda like the physical stuff, but obviously, like, when I had just moved into this place, there was a lot of, upper body stuff going on, so, like, a lot of, like, overhead, like, lifting of things, pulling and pushing of stuff, um, that definitely, hurts. I know, I loved weight training and I loved fighting because I was doing martial arts for a while, but, I know doing certain movements hurt. And the other thing is, like, overhead stuff. So, like, if I'm, like, lifting something or, like, doing my hair, like, I notice that my arm will, like, go numb faster. It gets, like, hot and warm, like, that's annoying. Even if just, like, sitting on the couch, like, if I'm sitting in a certain way and I'm, like, thrust a little bit forward, that causes, like, numbness and twitching. So, yeah. The biggest risk, oh, we already did that. All right. Change of weather causes titanium to lose heat at a fast. I know. Oh my God. Yes. So in the rainy, damp, or even the cold seasons, like, I realized, I think in one of my videos, I was like, dude, like, when it's cold out, like, I need to wear a scarf or something. Cause it's like, as soon as, like, the metal gets cold, the pain is just different. It's like an ache that's just so uncomfortable. And I think I remember, like, one of my videos, I was just like, this is like what old people mean when they're like, I can feel it's gonna rain. It's like, I can feel it's gonna be a cold day. So you just try to mitigate it when you can. Um, but yeah, I mean, the reason I was doing this is because it seems like it's difficult for me to answer everyone's stuff under all of the videos, which I'm so grateful for. And I'm noticing that some of you are, like, interacting with one another. If I don't get to you, which is awesome. That's what the purpose of this was. If my surgeon plans on doing posterior, they could possibly consider removing the anterior heart. I don't know if that was you before that said that, but somebody else has said that, like, they can remove hardware. But the thing is, he's not. Hey, how would that work? If the anterior is this way and they're doing posterior, how are they, like, reaching around and taking it out through I have no idea. This stuff, like, freaks me out. I don't know why, but, like, how would they remove hardware? I know that if he were to do it, I think he was only gonna do the disc above my fusion and reinforce the first one. Yeah, but then they're gonna have to go through the front again. I don't want them doing the front and the back. Like, why would I need them to do that? And again, like, this doctor, the one that I got my consult from, was saying that he was gonna do, like, minimally invasive, so I don't think I would have that, like, big scar down the back of my neck like some people have. The only time I have, like, swallowing issues has been, like I said, if I have, like, inflammation in the throat or if I have, like, a cold, and, like, a sore throat, or, like, choking or, like, whatever. But, like, even, like, doing Pilates or whatever, like, if I would have some, like, muscle tension or inflammation, that's when I would notice, like, the swallowing. I would feel like I'm choking on something, and then I would get panicky, and then I would have, like, my health anxiety. Um, and want to, like, get seen by every physician possible to make sure I'm okay. That, I think, has been, like, honestly, I do believe, like, the mental aspect of this has been the hardest. Um, Hearing things like, I know, I know. We'll probably, like, fall from, like, a roof and, like, our neck is the only thing that, like, stays together, but yet we're scared that we're not gonna be okay. But, like, it's just crazy, like, when you hear, like, "Oh, you might be paralyzed," or "You could die," or this, or, like, the constant pain and, like, your body doing weird things, like, the medical PTSD and health anxiety that has come from this whole thing for the last 4 years has changed me, like, in a way for the better because I can relate to people, with regards to, like, chronic and, like, hidden pain. Um, but it is a fucking trip. Like, I literally was, like, stuck on my couch for 3 years. Like, I didn't wanna do anything because anything I did caused more pain or, just scared me, and I would always have a new symptom of some sort, whether it be, like, the headaches or the vision, the jaw pain, like, tinglings and twitching, and stupid episodes of shit where it's like, "Oh god, is this gonna now be my new norm? I don't want this to be my new norm." And it's just so easy to get into, like, the woe is me that you sometimes start, like, getting annoyed by hearing yourself, like, complain. Um, so yeah, like, doing, like, the work in terms of, like, PTSD, depression, but also trying to find, like, a new norm has been hard. Like I said in a couple of my videos of, like, I like being active. I like pushing my body. I like doing like crazy adrenaline like things. Um, and when it's like do yoga, take up painting, it's like, fuck, like I want to fight. I want to fly. I want to drop out of the sky. Like I want to do all the crazy shit, but I'm too scared now. Now I'm even scared to like go for a walk sometimes if it's like too hot out because then I'll get really swollen and then like I'm in pain and it's like, fuck, that's annoying. The doctors have to always think worst case scenario and relay as much to the patient. Of course, the prevalence of those worst case scenarios is minimum, giving our current understanding of the spine. Yeah, but here's the thing. I also had my doctor say something along the lines of like, Kim, go live, go try it, go do it. If something breaks, we'll fix it. And I'm just like, after like experiencing like the worst of the worst that I had, like that's the last that I want to do is like try something just to try it and it not be worth it and then having the same or worse. And that's I think the other thing that I'm having a hard time with is with regards to it, like saying yes to getting this next surgery done is like I can kind of tolerate this. I can kind of like whatever. But there's that question of like, what if this next surgery fixes everything? Or like, what if this next surgery like makes this go away and I can move differently and finally it's secure and I no longer have this nerve shit happening and like what if I've just been putting it off and it really is the thing that is needed because maybe that loose screw is fucking shit up. Like maybe I really just should say yes and get it done and I'm all better. But the flip side of that is this doctor also said like it could, but also anytime that you go into the spine and you fuse things, like you have a higher likelihood of having it be the adjacent segment stuff, which can include pain and needing to go back in for more surgery. And he keeps stressing that because of my age and how quickly this has happened, not necessarily because I move my neck so much, but just my body, my luck, I don't know. He again says like 60%, but chances are I'm going to need another one. It's just when. And it's like, So I hate that game. I hate that game of like, when is waiting right versus wrong, especially when it comes to nerve stuff, because the longer you wait for nerve stuff, it's like dead. Like this one, like is dead. Like it's cold. I can move it and I can have strength in it to some extent, not always, but I can't feel it at all. Like it's cold and I can sometimes feel like maybe something is touching it, but not always. And like, it's like useless kind of. So like that's annoying that it's just like it's starting to spread a little bit, but this one's like, So yeah, so that's like been my current struggle is like I want to get the MRIs to see like did anything really change that's causing any of this because like so far like the EMG doesn't really show it. Um, although now I have carpal tunnel in that hand, but whatever. Everything in moderation. Don't be a bull. Yeah, but I don't want to be a pro knitter, but can I go horseback riding? Is that like going to be okay for my spine or like I don't know. I do miss horseback riding. And like can I skydive and pull the chute? Probably not. There is no spine surgery that only produces unilateral gain. Why not? Collateral effects will always be part of the ensemble. Your surgeon is correct about the adjacent segment. I know. Do I believe in aliens? I mean, don't they have proof of it? Like, hasn't like the whatchamacallits had proof of aliens? I guess that are in like the green bodies or something. That's a nice distraction from this. I'm not going to be on here for too long. I was hoping for like, not saying like, more people, but I just got done work. I haven't eaten dinner yet and I am crashing. And it's so dark out. Like I normally love the dark. I'm the night owl. I love the fall, but for some reason since moving and like really liking my deck, I'm like, I wanted to stay light out. You went horseback riding and you work out. So, can you tell me what you had done, Sean? Like, again, like, what levels did you have done, and what are your current symptoms, and are you good to go? You guys really think horseback riding would be okay? Like, all, like, the not the galloping, but, like, the trotting and all the bouncing and shit? So you had 3, so I had 4 to 7 done. And are you good? Minus the feet issue, like, any screws loose or any, like, because I guess that's my problem, like, I'm thinking, like, since I'm having all these issues, tells me something's wrong or something else is wrong, that it's kinda like, "Yeah, I know." I'm thinking, like, because I have these current issues going on, that something else is going on that I shouldn't test my luck. That's how I'm thinking. So you're gonna go back for the posterior. I can't get comfortable. I washed my hair, and that's the other thing. I lost, like, half my hair, so now I have, like, balding, male pattern baldness happening, so I wear my hair curly to kinda hide it. But, yeah, this whole world since COVID, since spine surgery, life's been interesting. I am very happy with renting this place. So I'm not happy about the rent, but I'm happy with moving. I really needed to get out of that place. My, like, happiness has definitely increased. I mean, I still don't leave this place. Like, it's just like when I was at my old apartment, I hardly ever leave. But, like, my energy, my positivity, I'm playing like Snow White. I'm going through peanuts. Like, I am buying so much food for the damn squirrels and blue jays and crows and all these birds. Like, I'm having, like, every morning, like, 2 hours, I'm sitting on my deck feeding these fucking animals, and they're going through pounds of food, like, every 2 days. But I keep doing it. I do work from home, and that's the problem. Like, I just sit here all day, like, either on the phone, but mostly Zoom. So I'm staring at the screen all day long. Your traps are tight and nerve pain on the outside of, yeah. Yeah, I always do this. I don't know why I'm guarding. I do miss my lady that was, like, my massage therapist. I would, like, see her for 2 hours, like, once a month. I can only afford once a month. But for a period there, I was, like, going, like, every week for 2 hours. It was the best. But I can't do deep tissue, even though that's probably more therapeutic. I don't know if it's from the nerve issues or what. I really think that I have an aspect of, like, connective tissue disorder, which I wish I would have known of. Well, I wish I still need to get diagnosed, but, like, if I do have connective tissue stuff going on and they did this surgery and I'm hyper flexible, like, that could have been the reason that my top fusion didn't fuse, not the whole Kim, you did too much and you shake your head too much. Like, whoever that was that told me I moved my head too much, like, I know. Like, come on. I can't go back and not do it, but whatever. But yeah, so, like, I just wanna get, like, some information about this, like, hyper flexibility thing. But yeah, I do this, and I don't know why I'm guarding. But I do need to get back to, like, massage therapy. That was so nice, doing, like, the gentle massage, and it would keep my body, like, after, like, the first hour, I finally relaxed, and the second hour was, like, calming for my system. But, like, deep tissue just ended up activating my muscles, and, like, I would start, like, oh, it was a whole mess. So, I feel like I'm like the princess and the pea, like, anymore. I feel like it's always like, that hurts, I don't like that, can't do this." You're a plumber, so you do lift heavy things. Man, I give you kudos. I mean, I know how I feel, although I was really proud of myself when I moved in. Like, I had a friend help me with so many things. I would not have been able to, like, do any of this without his help. Um, but I was really, like, surprised. Like, I was moving my body more that month, and especially that first week of living here, than I had in 4 years. Like, I was hurting, and I was like, "Kim, it's normal. This is good hurt. This is, like, workout hurt. Like, you moved and did stuff that you haven't done. Like, you're gonna be activated for a while." But I was really surprised. I was like, "Okay, I can do more. Maybe I don't need to stay so, like, scared." An optimal ergonomic desk and monitor setup. So I have the desk that I can stand at, but I don't often stand because, like, I'll then shift side to side to side, and if a client's crying, I can't be all like, "Do, do, 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 do." I have this chair that, like, I can kind of, like, move around, and then I sit on, like, this, like, cloud pillow or whatever it is, but that kind of, like, bothers me. But if you have, like, recommendations for, specific, whatever, like, that would be helpful. My monitor is on, like, a little lift it thing, and if it's too high or low, I just move the desk higher or lower, so I'm, like, usually looking straight. But, like, a new chair, like, this is, like, another new chair because I keep trying to find a nice comfortable chair. But if you have, suggestions, maybe write them out. I don't know where, so I did notice that the last live video that I did, comments didn't get posted. So I would say if you have recommendations, post it maybe under like another video or something, because I don't know if these get posted or not. I don't know how to use like YouTube, to be honest. EDS is congenital. There are 13 subtypes. Damn, Brad, can you just like come and like do some testing on me? How do you know all this? I know that I've done, like, a lot of the things, and, like, I have most of them, like, in terms of, like, flexibilities and what I can do. I don't know about the stretchy skin. I mean, maybe I have stretchy skin, but to me, like, so many things are just normal. Um, but I guess that's the question. If there is, like, if I do have an aspect of, like, EDS or, like, congenital, or, like, connective tissue something or other, like, how might that have changed things with regards to before surgery or during surgery? Like, what would have been different? Like, that's what I would like to know. Range of motion, turning your neck and opposite for a few. Oh my god, me too. Like looking up for too long, or like looking, like if I'm like at like a bar or something, or on a date, or like even sitting on the couch and like talking to somebody, like I have to like move my body and or like switch seats. And that's what I mean. Like I feel like I'm like the princess and the pea, where it's like, I remember, like, laying on, like, this one guy, and, like, I was like, "Oh, you gotta move your arm. I can't, like, have you back here because then I'm, like, doing this." And then I was like, "Let me lay on his lap, and he can play with my hair." But then, like, it kind of, like, was, like, too high, so I was in pain. I was, like, turning, and it was to the point where it was like, "Fuck this." And I feel like I ruin moments, or I'm always, like, the princess and the pea, where it's like, "That hurts," or "That's too much," or "That's too forward," or "That's too hard," or that, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, I sound like a high maintenance kind of person. I'm like, "But I'm not." Mm. Connective tissue diseases can affect bone metabolism, which can affect fusion. Right. So, I mean, so I'm wondering, like, C4 to C5, if there is a loose screw, what, like, I was thinking that it was because I did too much too soon, and I was, like, filled with guilt, but maybe that would have happened. But again, like, moving forward, like, if I have to go in for more fusions, like, would a bone growth stimulator really work? Because I thought that was mostly, like, almost like a TENS unit. Like, what is a bone growth stimulator per se? Like, how does that actually help? And does it actually simulate or stimulate, enough to warrant getting it in? Because don't you then have to get it out? I don't know. I am crashing. I really appreciate you all, like, sitting here and, like, engaging with me. Um, Outside of, like, surgery questions, I know I've been doing this for 4 years, and I know a bunch of you have kind of followed for a while, so, I mean, if there's, like, just chatter or questions, like, that I can help with unrelated to that or whatever, you can ask. So the current, neurosurgeon said that he sees a halo around the screw. The original surgeon says that he disagrees with that surgeon's, um, finding. So we'll see with this new MRI maybe, but okay. Brad, what's your background? You always have all this technical information. Yeah. Hmm. And how old are you all? Oh, makes sense then. Do you all sit on, like, YouTube? And, like, I was on YouTube, though, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, and, like, people were like, "Oh, man, you guys are around my age. Man, Brad, you are young." I mean, Sean, you're young too, but, I don't consider us young anymore. And man, I feel like this thing has, like, aged me. I finally hung out with my girlfriends, this past weekend, and I think from, like, moving, finally, I was, like, back to my old self, like, I was able to, like, laugh and be present, but anytime before that, like, the pain, the fatigue, and I'm just like, "I wanna go home. Nothing's funny. Womp womp. I can't sit here. I don't wanna do that." That I was just like, "Man, I feel like I aged. I'm grouchy. Now I just need to get, like, my cauldron in, like, the woods and just, like, Oh, I have a cackle too. Oh, anyway, can I delete that? But yeah, I don't know if I'm liking this whole, like, setup of YouTube. Like, I don't know, it has me, like, crooked unless I'm crooked, but I don't know. Really? From the very beginning for 4 years? You've watched every video, huh? Yeah, that's what I feel, Rod. Like, at first, I was like, "I'm getting, like, too many tests done, I'm getting too many people's opinions," but now it's like, I just don't want this to be so dead, and the twitching is annoying to the point where, like, today, I'm like, "Do I have, like, ALS? Like, am I gonna, like, start degenerating in other ways?" I don't know. I have my moments. But man, this surgery, like, I know when I first started 4 years ago, I was like there were, like, 3 videos. One was, like, a professional diver or skier or something, and she had, like, that huge cage on. I think it went up to here, I can't remember. But again, like, I guess if you're, like, a professional, like, you have, like, the whole team. Then there was this other guy that had his done, but he only made, like, 2 or 3 videos, and according to him, like, he was good. Um, but I had never seen, like, people's, like, long-term stuff. So when I had made my first, like, video, I think it was my first or second video or my post on Facebook, there was a nurse, and she wrote something along the lines of, like, "Don't get it done. You're gonna regret it. Once you do it, you're gonna always do it. You don't." And I was just like, "Ew." And now I'm like, "Oh, I think now I know why she was kinda saying all that." But I was like, "Ew, who are you to, like, tell me this?" And yeah. But she was like, "Once you open it, you're gonna forever need it, so don't do it." And it's just like, "You don't know what you're talking about." Ridiculous, how do I say that? Radicular symptoms are usually the best candidates for surgery as opposed to I know, I know. But the other problem with that, Brad, though, that I have found doctors say that it's not guaranteed that it's gonna make it better, or that there's gonna be an improvement. Sometimes it's just a possibility that it's gonna, like, halt the symptoms from progressing. Um, but, like, you also run the risk of, like, something else happening. Oh, no. I had COVID, I think, right after my surgery. That was scary. That's, like, when it was, like, first, like, "Oh my god, you're gonna die." Yeah. But, like, how can, like, other than, like, the going through the back of the neck and, like, refusing or whatever, like, I asked the doctor, I was like, "Is there something else that you can do, like, clearing out some of, like, the debris around, like, the nerve or something like that?" And he was like and he just kept repeating himself, like, "No, C3 to C4 and then 4 to 5," like, redoing. And I was like, "But a lot of my pain is, like, at the base of the fusion." And I was like, "So that would be like a C7 to, like, T1." And so that's what I'm hoping that the MRI will, like, catch in case there's, like, other stuff happening down there. But, like, the last thing I want is, like, just get the whole thing fused. Somebody in one of the videos was like, "What do you think about, like, the whole spine overhaul?" I was like, no, don't want that. They can do a laminectomy only, but that's not a good idea without the fusion. The pain at the base is likely referred." I don't know. All I know is, like, I try to do, like, some yoga and, like, I'll, like, do the whole I don't know what the fuck it's called because I don't know what I'm doing, but, like, I just do stretches. But, like, even, like, sitting like this, I can feel, like, the metal against, um, the other disc, and it just, like, hurts. But, like, if I'm, like, on my belly and I do, like, the whole, like, leaning up and looking up, it's like, that fucking hurts. So I guess anything that kinda, like, compresses it. Um, I think I'm gonna go soon. I got 9 people watching, 2 people interacting. So, are there any, like, questions or things that you guys wanna ask or just out of curiosity? Like, the thing that my doctor was suggesting, I don't know if I wrote that anywhere, but he was thinking about doing let me find it. Hi, baby. You hungry? Almost. Hold on. So where's it at? I did make a note somewhere, but I don't know where I put it. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where would it be, though? I don't know if you can still see me, but maybe you can. I think I made a note. Or maybe I didn't. I don't think I made a note. The fuck was that noise? Anyway, I'm just trying to figure out like what Dr. Yoon said in terms of what his was called. It was like minimally something or other. I will find it. Like I'll probably find it as soon as like I'm done here. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you guys for too long, but questions, comments, concerns, feedback. Now I'm really going to get like focused on where this is at. I made a note somewhere, but he told me what it would be called. It was like a specific way of doing this. Oh, I thought that was something else then. Oh, here it is. Okay, so he was saying posterior cervical fusion of C3 and 4 and 4 and 5 reinforce the current fusion. He would do this with a Providence Medical CAVUX, CAVUX system. Small changes, minimally invasive. So I don't know if that, I mean, I guess that's still considered a posterior cervical fusion. But I don't know why when I kept saying like, oh, somebody on here like has like the whole line and he's like, no, I'm just going to go in with a couple things and I'm going to reinforce the current one with this medical CAVUX system with small changes. I don't know. That's what he said. So I don't know what that means. But Brad, you probably do, right? It's probably the same surgery. Endoscopic is typically minimally invasive. Okay. Oh, I know, right, Sean? I think, Brad, you need to have a channel if you don't. Do you have a channel, Brad? You're always here. And you're not the guy that I met at Rothman, right? I remember when I was at Rothman, there was this young kid who just got into a car accident and just had the same surgery with the same surgeon that I did. And I was like, here's my YouTube channel in case you want to like watch. But I didn't remember his name. That's not you. Okay. So Brad, I think you need to have your own channel and you need to do these lives instead of me. I don't think I'm the best host, especially at like the end of the day. I'm tired, but it's 8:00. So, I mean, if there's nothing else, I'm going to sign off. Should I save this or like upload it? It's probably going to do it automatically. Is it worthwhile? I never know. I hate looking at myself, like just like talking to myself, but anything else before I go feed my cat? I appreciate you all like hanging out with me for an hour. Save it. Great. So, all right. Well, if there's nothing else, show the cat. There he is. He's hungry. Don't mind my slippers. Say hi, Jedi. So, there's Jedi. It was a pleasure interacting with you all. And for those of you who were silently observing, I hope you got something of it. And yeah, from my house to yours, mwah. Be good. Why do I always do that? Anyway, be good, be kind. And yeah, if you need something, send a message. But I hope you all have a good one and some pain relief, definitely. So, bye. Say bye, Jedi.